my booth as well. And we'll see you guys throughout the whole weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. This is a gift, this is a treat for you guys. Road Trippin'.
Hi, welcome to Road Tripping. We will have Bill, played by John Baker, Mary, played by Sharon Zaslow, Seth, played by Mario Bueno, Gail, played by Lizette Esplat, the attendant and Nick, played by Augie Donnell, Agent Greystone by Eric Chase, and Maury Chodo by Michael Schlapp. I'm Samantha Limanis, I will be reading the stage directions. So this is Road Trippin' by Carl Custer.
Forgot one. Found him.
Outer space. Camera pans to find Earth. Stars can be seen in the limitless distance. The sun rises from behind. A lone satellite moves into the frame delicately and then gets smashed by a passing meteor. The pieces of the satellite are sent hurtling into the dark void of space.
Before he went away, my brother Harry told me there are hundreds of planets out there just like Earth, with hundreds of people just like us. Problem is, 2 of those planets will never connect. So we could wait until the end of time for that to happen, or we could try and connect with the people around us.
We fall through the clouds into the atmosphere, past an alien spaceship and some geese, only to land in exterior Desert Highway Day. A dusty highway sign reads, only 30 miles to Majestic, the world's largest chewing gum cow sculpture. An ancient station wagon clunks past the sign. A tumbleweed is trailing the station wagon. It moves into the left lane and passes. Interior, station wagon continuous. Seth Cartwright looks out the black window at the passing scenery, a vast and desolate American West. He sighs and starts chewing his nails. A flash from a Polaroid camera. Mary Cartwright smiles at us from the front passenger seat, shakes an undeveloped Polaroid and turns to face front. Someone sitting next to Seth suddenly punches him in the arm. Seth doesn't react. He takes out a journal and begins writing in it.
The days are becoming a sludge of blurred scenery, and we still haven't found this ski resort called Orion's Gate. The problem is, it's not on any map, so our journey's made a few unplanned stops. My father said that his father took him there when he turned 16, so it's become a family tradition. But Harry's turn then.
A note stuck to a fridge. The note reads, family, have run away to find myself. Technically not your fault. Love, Harry. The car passes another sign. 30 more miles to Majesty.
Dad, can we please roll down a window?
No can do, son. Roll down windows create wind resistance, thus lowering gas efficiency, thus impeding our chances of making good time.
The only problem with family road trips is having to include your family. You'll always be the kid. Nothing can change.
Cut to exterior Desert Highway Day. Camera pans to a rental car dead on the roadside. The hood is open and the engine is steaming. Gail, a woman in a tight-fitting red one-piece dress, sits on the trunk sticking her thumb out.
I'd welcome any change by this point.
Gail looks down at the pocket mirror. Flipping it open, we see blinking lights and intricate circuitry. A holographic display of an hourglass appears. It hovers in midair and is dangerously low. Gail sighs. She looks up and sees a car approaching in the distance.
Finally. Get your game face on, girls.
Interior station wagon continuous. The gear reader jumps a gear. The engine crescendos with Nick's Seth brother as he complains.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
What?
I gotta pee.
You've got a mayonnaise jar back there, don't you?
There's still mayonnaise in it.
We're not pulling over. We're making good time. Mary, give him a spoon.
Lactose intolerant.
Bill! There's a woman in the road!
Don't change the subject. Hey, there is a woman in the road.
Bill looks up and sees Gail waving a pair of white briefs as a signal flag. The station wagon pulls up behind Gail's car.
And we were making good time.
In the back seat, Seth wakes up from a nap. He looks out his window to see Gail's abundant cleavage staring at him. He pops back and startled. Bill talks to Gail through his window.
You all right, ma'am?
I am now.
Cut to desert highway a mile away. Heat waves blur our vision. A man is dehydrated and delirious emerged from a dust cloud. He wears a gray suit like a government agent from the 1930s.
Soon, woman. Very soon.
He walks out of frame, dragging behind him a 15-foot-long seat belt. Fade to exterior Majestic Motel, day. A two-story wooden motel painted in ostentatious southwestern colors and a roof of Spanish tiles. A sign announces that this is the home of Majestic, the cow gum sculpture. Interior, motel lobby. Bill enters the lobby through a pair of saloon doors overloaded with overnight bags. Pastor Maury Chono is arguing with an attendant at the front desk. Bill stands behind them, impatient.
What I'm saying is, young man, is that you cannot deny a body a place to worship.
You're free to worship anywhere you want, just not here. Not insured for.
Excuse me.
You misunderstand, young man. I'm taking permission to use your back room. Now give me the key.
Chono and the attendant hammer on the desk counter, progressively smashing it into the ground.
I'd like a room.
For the last time, you can't hold a meeting in a public space, for religious purposes.
It's not a religious thing. It's a money pyramid scam disguised. It's a cult. They're completely different on paper.
Fine, then use the room.
Thank you kindly. The mayor be with you.
Bumping into Bill.
Well, hello there, friend. Have you ever considered joining a cult? Free fruit punch, you know. Maury Chono, preacher extraordinaire. You like me. See you tomorrow for the service.
Chono slithers away. Bill goes to the attendant.
Make it quick.
Hi, can I get a room with,
Mary pops in between them.
Did you get a room yet, Bill? Hi. We'd like a double suite on the top floor.
Names and number of guests.
She shoves her Polaroid camera into his hands, then walks into our faces. Seth, Nick, Bill, and Gail are standing at the motel entrance.
New motel, family picture.
Attendant shrugs and takes a picture. Freeze frame on the picture he takes. Bill holding luggage, looking lost. Mary holding her sons in her arms like the jaws of life. Gail wearing a wide-brimmed hat, towering over the rest of the family. Seth walks in front of the frozen picture like a professor giving a lecture. The photo loses its color.
At this time, we pause our farce to meet the players in My Never-Ending Summer Family Road Trip.
Interior, private movie theater. Seth takes a seat in a padded chair. The Carthrights already sit around him. The frozen picture is in front of them, and they now offer commentaries. A small box frames Bill's frozen face on the picture and zooms in on his blank expression.
Bill Cartwright, the father. A cowboy without a horse.
Look at that chiseled jaw. That's a Cartwright jaw.
And on his shoulders, the Cartwright family dandruff.
The picture zooms in on Mary.
Mary Cartwright, the mother.
Oh no, my hair is out of control. What people are going to think? I'm a crazy person.
To think she blames the hair.
The picture zooms in on Nick, who is somehow still playing his PSP despite his mother's arm locked around his throat.
Nicholas Redenbacher, Cartwright Spawnling, number 3.
Life is not a game. The game is life.
In my dreams, I discover your adoption papers.
The picture zooms in on Seth, rolling his eyes.
Seth Cosby, Cartwright Spawnling, number 2.
Then who's number 1?
That's none of your business.
Shouldn't we tell them about Harry?
Mom, Harry's not there. Didn't even see him that summer.
But he's always in our hearts.
The picture zooms in on Gail. Somehow she has retained her color and in fact glows on the screen.
And you.
And me.
What's your name again?
That's no way to treat family.
You're not family.
That's not true, Seth. That's Gail, your cousin, I think.
From whose side?
Your mother's cousin.
No, your father's uncle's cousins.
Gail slinks over to Bill and rubs his shoulders. Bill melts.
I do have the Cartwright shoulders, wouldn't you say?
Back to interior motel lobby. Back to real time after the photo was taken.
We can't fit you.
What?
We're completely booked.
Gail moons up to the desk and smiles at the attendant. She raises her hand to her face. We notice a ring she's wearing. It begins to glow yellow.
Are you sure about that?
The attendant smiles back at Gale and shows his own ring, which glows yellow in sync with Gale's.
My mistake. I think something just opened up on the top floor.
I'm sure something did.
All the characters leave except for Seth, who stares completely dumbfounded. Fade 2, exterior desert highway night. Gale's rental car. The man in the gray suit, Agent Greystone, looks under the hood.
Blasted woman! You ruined my car!
He notices a pair of white briefs laying on the roof. He snatches them. He kicks the tire. The entire car collapses. He slumps in defeat. A tumbleweed rolls into the frame. Greystone hooks his feet around a tire and lashes onto the tumbleweed with his seatbelt. Strangely enough, the tumbleweed drags Greystone down the road.
You're not getting the best of me, Gale. Not this time. You will pay for your crimes.
Interior motel room. Seth opens one eye and slips out of a sleeping bag. He looks around. The rest of his family is packed in a tiny motel room sleeping. Seth goes to the door and sneaks into the hallway. Motel lobby. Gale and the attendant are alone in the dark, save for the neon welcome sign above the check-in counter. They are speaking in low voices. Pull out to see a staircase. Seth slinks into the frame, lies down, and creeps down the stairs, trying to listen.
You're a real piece of work, Gale, you know that? That little stunt you pulled on the FBI all over the underground networks. You're making a lot of enemies.
If I can make it to Orion's Gate first, none of that will matter. Assuming you can still supply me.
The agency's put a bounty on you.
Bounty?
For how much?
The attendant tenses. Gale shifts in her seat.
Not nearly enough for all the trouble you put me through.
He puts a large case on the counter. It unfolds, revealing an arsenal of shiny cosmetics. Gale looks over a lipstick tube that flips open, becoming a telescope.
So what's the deal? What's the deal with that family? Were you just lonely, or did you erase all their minds?
Erase their minds?
I had to keep moving. Only problem is one of the boys resisted.
Well, that's a first. No one's ever resisted you.
She examines a hairdryer that twists to become a taser.
I have other methods, and according to my tracer, there should be a landing soon for a memory harvest. And who knows, he might make a good host.
Landing? Host? We gotta get out of here!
Seth's footing slips. Sound effects. Thud. Gale and attendant look up. Gale readies her weapon.
I'll be back, Ronnie. If you hear screaming, ignore it.
Got you. Standard summer camp procedures.
Seth trips up the stairs and runs back to his room. Intel motel room. Seth runs into the room and presses his back against the door. Zoom out to see Gale sitting on the window ledge looking over some Polaroids.
How did you beat me up here? I'm fast. And please don't scream. Our family's had a very long day.
They are not your family. What about erasing their minds, huh? You're not even human.
Just along for the ride.
Cut to flashback scene. Exterior desert highway earlier that day. Bill takes a look under Gale's hood.
It doesn't look good.
Gale poses dramatically on the car's trunk.
Oh, please, sir. You can't abandon poor little me in the sun. I'll melt. And what if a coyote comes along? Who's going to protect me?
Nick and Seth watch from the station wagon back seat. Seth goes to bite into a sandwich.
Wasn't Dad the one who told us never to pick up hitchhikers?
I think that was Smokey the Bear.
In the front seat, Mary's eyes are tiny glowing red orbs of rage pointed directly at Gale.
Well, there's a motel about 30 miles up the road. We'll be glad to drop you off.
Can't I stay with you?
No, we got a lot of road to travel. We're actually heading for Orion's Gate. You ever hear of it?
You might say I'm heading there myself. We should carpool, Uncle.
What's that?
Gale walks in front of the station wagon. Mary, Nick, Seth, and Bill look at her, unsure. Gale smiles and begins to unzip the top of her dress. Point of view over Gale's shoulder as she opens her top to the Cartwrights. A blinding, glorious light, complete with angelic choir, blasts from her chest. Wide out, too, the Cartwrights are motionless, blinking hard as if they've been hypnotized. Bill looks at the car's digital clock.
Oh, holy jeez, look at the time we've wasted. Quick, Cousin Gale, get in.
Seth seems to be the only one moving at regular speed.
We haven't stopped that long.
He bites into his sandwich, which is now covered in a mountain of mold. He spits it out and wipes at his tongue. End of flashback. The motel room.
And now they think you're related to us or something.
Gail reaches over her seat and examines Seth's scalp, then looks into his mouth and under his eyelids.
I still don't know how you resisted. You must be some freakish genetic abnormality.
Excuse me? I'm not the one who hypnotized.
I didn't hypnotize anyone. I rewrote their memories. It's different. Just be glad I'm not in the business of stealing memories. Those are the people you have to watch out for.
Why? And how?
She snatches the Polaroids from Gail. Gail shrugs and watches the moon.
It would be terribly inconvenient if I told you.
Because you have to kill me?
Well, I'd have to rewrite your family's memory again after I kill you.
Gail still holds one picture. She grins.
Who's this? He's very handsome. Is that the famous older brother?
Seth tries to grab the picture. Gail taunts him by holding it out of his reach. Gail laughs through her teeth.
His name is Harold. Everyone calls him Abel Harry because he can do everything right.
Your mother told me he went missing. He looks familiar.
Why are you coming with us? What do you want at Orion's Gate?
What do you want?
What should I tell you? We haven't told the truth since we found it.
I do need to get to Orion's Gate. That wasn't a lie.
And everything else is? Gail?
He gets the picture and holds it to his chest. Gail sits back down, crossing her legs. Her hair and eyes shine in the moonlight.
Kid, everyone has secrets. Everyone has something they're not supposed to know, but can't be completed until they learn it.
Seth takes a step back from Gail, who's lost all hostility.
Things may be getting ugly real soon. It'll be safer if you stick with me.
I don't trust you.
I don't want you to.
Cut to interior majestic motel hallway night. Pastor Morichono is stapling flyers for his sermon on every door. He examines his fingernails. They reflect a yellow light from. He turns around to see a soccer ball-sized spaceship hovering silently next to his face.
Tall man, we require a host to transport us to Orion's Gate.
And might I suggest, the host of the Great Martha, only a cult through technicality.
We require a shepherd to gather humans for memory collection.
Memory collection?
Memories, the richest resource of all sentient life. Our shepherd must be able to gather humans.
Well, you've come to the right man, Morichono, swindler extraordinaire. But understand, my steam-resistant friend, my services will not come cheap.
We will reward you with the burning light from the stars themselves and highest knowledge ever received by your species.
I also accept bankers' checks, credit cards, and food stamps.
The spaceship shoots a yellow beam into Chono's forehead. Chono's eyes glow yellow and his voice becomes the spaceship's voice.
We are to harvest the humans.
Cut to motel room continuous. Inside Gail's suitcase, her compact mirror flips open, revealing the holographic hourglass is empty and blinking red. Red letters flash, warning, landing detected. Fade 2, majestic motel morning. A disgruntled and apathetic rooster walks into center frame. It breathes in, preparing to crow. The rooster is squashed by a tumbleweed. The rooster dusts itself off and is squashed again under Agent Greystone, who is dragged into the parking lot on his face by the tumbleweed caught on by his seatbelt. The tumbleweed rolls into a handicapped parking space. Greystone coughs out dust and looks up. Greystone flicks his seatbelt. It unravels off the tumbleweed and recoils into a small pouch on his side. Interior motel lobby. Agent Greystone approaches the saloon doors slowly. He tries to kick them open. They swing back, catching his foot, and he drops. Greystone crawls under the saloon doors and pops into frame. Greystone goes to the front desk and rings the service bell. Ronnie enters, brushing his teeth, spilling toothpaste foam from his mouth.
Yes?
Uh-oh. Hey, he's in trouble now.
Exterior, majestic motel backyard continuous. Camera moves through a small crowd of tourists. We eventually run into Majestic, the chewing gum cow sculpture.
He can sleep in if he wants to, Bill.
That boy slept enough in the car. It's a beautiful day outside. He should be enjoying it out with the rest of us. And what about that gathering today in the back room? If I'm going to sit in on a cult, we're going to do it as a family.
Pan over to see Bill and Mary reading the plaque next to the mounted statue. It reads Majestic, the world's largest chewing gum sculpture of a cow. as seen on the billboards. Nick stands inches from the statue's face. He looks around and sticks his gum under the cow sculpture. When he pulls his hand back, it is covered with milk.
He shouldn't get in trouble, Bill. He's with Gail.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Still, the little weirdo could use some excitement.
Interior motel room day. Seth wakes up groggily on the floor. The blurred camera slowly focuses on what's in front of him. Pull out to see Gail sleeping next to Seth. She shifts in her sleep and moves toward us. Seth, paralyzed, is centimeters from Gail's cleavage. Gail's half-asleep eye suddenly snaps open and sees Seth. Interior motel room continuous. Seth sits on the edge of the bed, tapping his feet on Gail's aluminum suitcase. Off camera, the shower can be heard.
You didn't have to freak out, you know.
You didn't have to scream back.
I only screamed because you screamed. How long are you gonna stay with us?
He turns to the bathroom. Half his face is covered with a hand-shaped slat mark.
You know what's not creepy? Waiting outside the bathroom and probing me with questions.
I'm not gonna stop until you admit what you're gonna do to my parents.
The bathroom door opens. A cloud of steam billows out, surrounding Gail as she steps out. With one towel on her head and one on her torso, her silhouette alone is seductive.
Tell you what, you play along, I promise nothing permanent will happen to your family. And who knows, someday down the road, you may even be happy we're not related.
She unravels a towel. It covers the screen. Motel lobby. Agent Greystone and Ronnie have a standoff. No one moves. Sweat drips down the Ronnie's face. He goes to escape. Greystone whips out his seatbelt, which weaves like a ribbon dancer. It smashes the front desk and wraps itself around Ronnie. Greystone slings him into a chair.
Well. I set out to capture my elusive ex-partner, and instead I find her underground supply.
Agent Greystone! I was hoping I'd get to insult you in person.
Such meaningless sarcasm. If you only knew, dear boy, that the FBI is here for your safety.
He tightens the seatbelt.
I think I heard a rib crack.
Silence! Answer my question.
What do you want? I can't do both.
Where is Gail?
Well, she's miles away by now.
Maybe so. But the true danger's right at hand, isn't it?
Dude, you tried to.
Fade 2. Interior motel back room. A high-roofed chapel. Ceiling lights bathe Pastor Maury Chono in a dusty haze. He stands behind an altar covered in flashy Christmas lights. He taps his fingernails together and opens his sci-fi pulp magazine.
Dear people, dear people, they walk amongst us. They, them, those responsible for things we don't quite understand.
The Carthrights sit closest to Chono. 2 tumbleweeds sit next to Nick.
Oh, look, honey, an eccentric. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Interior motel room. Gail is now fully dressed and slicks on a pair of sparkling elbow-length red gloves.
Hey, what'd you mean last night when you said things are gonna get ugly? Foreshadowing.
Someone tries to kick in the door and fails. A pause. The doorknob is slowly turned and opened slightly. Agent Greystone kicks in the door triumphantly.
Aha! Your time has come, Gail.
I wonder if criminals can still file for restraining orders.
You know him?
Release the hostage and come quietly.
Hostage? Are you a criminal?
Greystone whips his seatbelt. Gail ducks behind Seth. Greystone captures Seth instead and reels him in.
Bondage, that's what your fear is. Bondage, keeping you from joining with the spirit of the universe.
Motel back room. Chono is walking among people seated for the sermon, stomping on the ground and moving his arms frantically.
And that bondage is named memories. Your old dirty memories are what strangles your hearts.
His hand bursts through his coat and pretends to strangle him.
Give us your photographs. Money, consider this salvation insurance. Down payments in the basket. Remember, the more you give, the more you get.
Motel room. Seth struggles against the seatbelt. It turns him upside down in midair.
Gail, help!
Lesson learned, young man. Women like Gail only think about themselves. You were not the first heart she's ever devoured. No. Nor the first she's ever abandoned. In the janitor's closet. Covered in corn oil. Nothing to keep you company but your own tube sock. Balled up and wedged in your mouth.
I thought adults didn't cry.
Silence!
Greystone convulses and falls down, revealing Gale standing behind him holding her taser. Seth falls out of the seatbelt into Gale's arms.
We're checking out. In case you haven't noticed, this room's getting a little crowded.
Interior motel back room. Chono is now twirling like a ballerina, grappling with the voice in his head. He pushes a basket into people's faces.
Relinquish those painful memories and give to me.
His eyes glow yellow.
Give us your photographs, your memories.
Normalizing voice.
Okay, let's make a compromise here. I'll take their money and their memories.
Yellow eyes.
Agreed.
Bill and Mary are hypnotized and drooling. Nick is playing on his PSP and doesn't notice. Close up on Bill reaching into his wallet and pulling out his credit card. Close up on Mary pulling out her Polaroids. The images on the pictures are fading away.
Seth would have liked this.
Who? The more you give, the more you get.
The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get.
Majestic roof. Seth is pushed out of a window onto the Spanish tile roofing. Gale leaps out after him. They scramble out of frame. Greystone leans out the window.
Halt! It's more convenient for me!
Motel back room. High angle as Chono walks toward Nick, who continues tapping on his PSP. Chono tilts his chin upward and they make eye contact. Nick's eyes go blank.
Why don't you be a good boy? Hand over your worldly possessions. You won't be needing them anymore.
Nick hands him his PSP. Chono tries to lift it, but Nick's hands can't release it. Chono shrugs and continues preaching, waving the PSP and Nick as he turns.
The time is at hand. In weeks, they will land and come to take all my followers to their eternal deliverance. Not just here, but the whole world must join us. We must journey as people to Orion's gate.
Majestic roof. Spaghetti Western music plays. The rooster from before crows until Greystone steps on it. Tilt up to see Greystone facing off against Gale.
Why don't you erase his mind?
I would if there was anything to erase.
Do not be fooled, boy. She's not only a threat to the nation, but to humanity itself. She will betray you. It's only a matter of time.
I won't force you, Seth. If you ask now, I'll leave your family alone. Just know that without me, you'll never reach Orion's gate. And you'll never find your brother.
How do you know where he is?
Orion's gate is a nexus. Everyone searching for answers is going to be gravitating towards it. If he's anywhere, he's there.
Why give me a choice?
She lies.
So what'll it be, kid?
Slow zoom in on Seth, then his POV of Gale's profile, then on the rooster, eagerly awaiting his decision.
Something in her voice, the unbreakable passion for freedom, reminded me of something. A memory I thought I'd lost. And then I knew who she sounded like. She sounded like my brother. She sounded like Harry.
So you with me, kid?
Yes.
Idiot.
Insurrection. Then I have no choice but to eliminate you both.
He pulls out his seatbelt, which comes out stiff and holds it like a katana. Greystone whips his seatbelt. Gale dodges several snaps. Wherever it lands, the tiled roof shatters and sprays clay shrapnel. All is quiet. Seth uncovers his eyes. The dust clears. Greystone looks up. Gale drops from above.
Same old dog, same old tricks.
Seth kicks him back. She kicks him back. Greystone sneers and throws his hat. Gale ducks. The hat hits the rooster standing next to Seth. The hat and rooster explode.
How is that necessary?
Submit, Harpy.
His seatbelt stiffens and shoots forward. It catches Gale's wrist. She cuts the belt with her razor-sharp fingernails. The belt flops down.
I never submit.
Gale grabs Seth and runs. Greystone tries one more time with his seatbelt. It snags Seth by the ankle.
Whoa!
Slow motion. Seth falls, flailing his arms. Gale turns to help him. Seth hits a sunroof window. Motel back room.
Orion's gate is your salvation. If I'm lying, may the Savior himself descend from his cloud, castle, and strike me down.
Seth falls from the ceiling and lands on Chono. Majestic roof. Gale looks down through the hole in the roof. Her ring is frantically glowing yellow.
They must have already landed, and they're using that southern dandy as their new host, which means I've lost my chance to control it. This is the single worst.
The seatbelt lashes across her.
This isn't over, woman.
Get a clue, Tightwad. Your threat to mankind is down there, and he's already mind-whipping people. He'll have their memories sucked dry in minutes.
Which leaves me plenty of time to capture you in the meantime.
Sorry, Seth. You're on your own.
She dashes off, Greystone's seatbelt coming at her from all directions. Motel back room. Chono rises from the debris, holding Seth by the neck. Dusty, holy light pours in from the window Seth fell through. With the lining and the outline of the splattered rooster feathers on his back, Seth appears angelic. A man rises from the crowd, stupefied. Savior, is that you? Close up on Seth as Chono lets him down, pull out to reveal the whole congregation dropping to their knees before Seth. Fade to black, to be continued, end of episode.
Let's have one more round of applause for all of our readers, all of our actors, for you guys coming out. Big thank you to New York Comic Con, big thank you to Between Us Productions, big thank you to all of our actors, big thank you to Miss Judith and her friend Natalie for all these incredible animations. This has been Road Trippin'. You guys stick around. I've got a costume contest to host downstairs in about 10 minutes. Tomorrow at 12, Mario and I have our comedy singing power hour, and I'll be back hosting the masquerade. You guys have a great time. Maybe we'll find out next year what happens next. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much.